Just 2 minutes ago, the sea was calm. Now, everything changes. At 6 a.m., in the vast blue expanse of the Caribbean, a tiny, high-speed contact appeared on the radar of the USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer operating deep in the naval choke points of the region. A small craft running at a suspicious 48 knots, without an automatic identification system, or AIS, and not responding to hails. A ghost running dark straight through the funnel zone. This isn't a simple border patrol story. This is a tactical chess match, a multi-billion-dollar warship using its entire sensor suite to track a vessel worth less than a luxury car. The stakes, an estimated $13.6 million in illicit narcotics. The objective, a flawless, non-lethal takedown. We're going inside the Combat Information Center, the CIC, for the moment the hunt for the Go-Fast boat began. Thousands of feet above the sea, slicing through the dawn clouds, a P-8 Poseidon maritime reconnaissance jet was already on station. The Poseidon, the Navy's premier airborne hunter, is essentially a flying supercomputer. Its powerful and /APY-10 radar painted an incredibly sharp image of the contact, cross-referencing it instantly with a massive database of known smuggling patterns and vessel profiles. Every second, data pulsed across secure, encrypted satellite channels down to the USS Gravely below. This is modern naval warfare. It's about data discipline before firepower. Within minutes, the Gravely's crew had the full picture, a small, twin-engine go-fast boat, approximately 12 meters in length, skimming north out of Venezuelan waters. The operations officer in the CIC reported, no AIS signal. No response to hails. Target confirmed, likely narcotics runner. The captain's decision was immediate and decisive. Maintain rules of engagement, ROE. Hail once, then prepare for intercept and boarding. This is where protocol meets precision. The call went out from the destroyer's bridge, first in English, then in Spanish, unidentified vessel. This is a U.S. Navy warship operating in international waters. Identify yourself immediately. Silence. Not even static. Below deck, the destroyer's crew moved into a synchronized rhythm. There was no shouting, no alarm bells, just the quiet, controlled coordination of professionals who had drilled this scenario hundreds of times. This is the mark of an elite combat crew. On the deck, sailors secured cables and powered up the ribs, the rigid hull inflatable boats used for boarding operations. Meanwhile, the Gravely's twin turbines rumbled as the ship increased speed to intercept the target. Up above, the Poseidon banked wide, its thermal cameras tracking the vessel. The go-fast boat glowed like a hot spark against the cool ocean water. The P-8 pilot's voice came through crisp and calm on the comms, 3 heat signatures on deck vessel. Approximately 12 meters. No fishing gear visible. Then came the first sign of something unusual. The electronic warfare officer in the Gravely CIC reported, they're dark, no radar emissions. Running silent. Smugglers typically run at the first sight of a Navy hull. These were not fleeing, they were stationary. They were waiting. The captain watched the tactical display for a tense moment longer before giving the order, launch the boats. Hydraulic cranes swung the ribs over the side, dropping them into the water. Spray hit hard as their powerful outboards roared to life. Each boat carried a mixed team of Navy personnel and specialized Coast Guard Law Enforcement Detachment, LADET, operators. They were armed, armored, and, crucially, recording every second on body-worn cameras to maintain the chain of evidence. The destroyer's bridge crew tracked the closing distance, RHIB-1 closing 300 yards. Vessel still stationary. 3 males on deck, hands visible. The tension was not loud, it was measured, tight, and professional. Every operator knew how fast a seemingly benign situation could turn lethal, a hidden weapon, a sudden gesture, a misread intention. As the ribs closed the final distance, the team leader keyed his mic and spoke through a bullhorn, "This is the United States Coast Guard. Prepare to be boarded." Still, no reaction. The 3 men on deck stood motionless, watching as 2 American boats raced toward them. They weren't even pretending to run. The captain's quiet analysis was chilling, then they're hiding something. The tactical box had already closed. Satellites, the P-8 Poseidon, and the USS Gravely had them mathematically contained. The smugglers weren't just being chased, they were being surrounded by data. Boarding initiated at 6:42 a.m. Grappling hooks clinked against the fiberglass hull. Coast Guardsmen climbed aboard swiftly. The first sweep was textbook: stern clear, deck clear, 3 crew detained without resistance. The search team proceeded to the main deck. Beneath a canvas tarp lay 19 rectangular bundles, classic cartel packaging, wrapped in plastic, burlap, and tape. The smell of diesel and salt was mixed with the unmistakable, chemical bite of cocaine residue. One operator quickly ran a field test on a sample. It turned cobalt blue, positive cocaine. Estimated weight, 45 pounds per bundle.
Data confirmed.
Back aboard the Gravely, the Combat Information Center confirmed the total haul, 860 pounds with an estimated street value of $13.6 million US. The process then became forensic. Evidence tables were prepped. Every bale was photographed, tagged, and weighed, ensuring an ironclad chain of custody for federal court. The suspects, now cuffed, sat silently. Their claim to be mere fishermen was instantly discredited by the evidence. Analysts aboard the Gravely cross-checked radio intercepts captured by the Poseidon. A pattern emerged: short, encrypted bursts sent back toward the Venezuelan coast. This was likely status updates being relayed to handlers in the infamous Tren de Aragua cartel network. That full intelligence packet, the coordinates, the timing, the frequency, was already streaming to the Joint Interagency Task Force South in Florida. By midday, the Gravely's crew had transformed a smuggler's run into a federal case file. The captain signed the final log entry: Operation complete. All suspects in custody. No casualties. This single event provides a crucial insight into modern maritime security. This mission was not about firepower, it was about control, tactical, legal, and moral. The Navy didn't need to shoot to win. They only needed to demonstrate that even out in the vastness of the Caribbean, the surveillance net is always waiting. This action feeds directly into Campaign Martillo, the multinational operation launched in 2012 by the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard. The strategy is simple: strike the supply chain before it reaches U.S. shores. Each bust, like the takedown of the Ghost boat, is not an isolated victory. It's a data node in a growing network of pattern recognition that allows analysts to predict the next smuggling run before the boat even leaves port. The $13.6 million in drugs is not the prize, the data is. The message from the captain was clear: those bales aren't the prize, the data is. Every intercepted signal, every fuel log, every logistic detail maps the logistics of an empire of organized crime, one vessel at a time. This is the quiet truth of global security today. It doesn't always look like missiles and fighter jets. Sometimes, it's a destroyer intercepting a speedboat before dawn, a camera logging evidence, and a quiet data packet traveling across the ocean to analysts thousands of miles away. The smugglers evolve, the routes shift, but the pattern of this unseen war stays the same: speed versus surveillance, chaos versus discipline. The Gravely continues its patrol, its radar antennas spinning slow and steady on the horizon. The ocean may be vast, but the Navy is never blind. So, what do you think? Should a billion-dollar warship, built for global conflict, be repurposed for high-stakes law enforcement like this interdiction? Or should the core mission remain solely with the Coast Guard? Drop your take in the comments below. Hit subscribe, and join the fleet. Because out here, every calm horizon hides another contact, and the Navy never stops watching.